If you're thinking to yourself, is the Bellroy Classic Backpack for me? Then you've come to the right place. In this Bellroy Classic Backpack review, I'm gonna break this bag down, show you the pros and the cons. Classic silhouette. This bag's a vibe. Super durable and thick, but we gotta figure out if it's classy enough. And if it's not the bag for you, you're gonna wanna stick around to the end, because I'll make some alternative recommendations for bags that I think might better suit your needs. Okay, let's kick it off with the gist of the Bellroy Classic Backpack. Made by one of the top backpack brands in the world, Australian-based Bellroy made a backpack that sounds exactly as it's marketed as. A classic. Classic silhouettes, classy vibes, classy materials. But we gotta figure out if it's classy enough for the price point. It should be noted too, there are 4 sizes of this bag. A compact 16 liter, the regular 20 liter, this guy here, a premium 20 liter, which is more expensive than the regular 20 liter, and a plus 24 liter, which we reviewed about a couple years ago. You can watch that review somewhere here or there. And ultimately the gist of this bag is simplicity with some thoughtful engineering. Some top features: high quality, weather resistant materials, a clamshell style opening for the main compartment, beautiful internal fabrics that will vary depending on the color bag that you get, some padded tech organization, and just a vibe. This bag's a vibe, a very classy vibe, might I add. The size is 20 liters, which in my opinion is perfect for everyday carry, whether you're doing university stuff or work stuff, other stuff. 20 liters is ideal. Bellroy currently offers the Classic Backpack in 5 different colors, but that will definitely change seasonally and based on what materials are in stock. It weighs a very light and respectable 1.6 pounds. This is the Bellroy Classic Backpack when it is emptied out, and this is the Bellroy Classic Backpack when it's fully packed out and worn on me. For reference, I'm 5'8". And don't worry, we're gonna fill this bag out throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. Bellroy bags are covered by their 3-year warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, this bag runs around, Margaret, how much do you think the bag costs? USD, guess. Ooh, she's close, $140 USD, as of recording. And if at any point in this review you're thinking to yourself, damn, it's a classy bag, I'm a classy person, it's a match made in heaven, totally getting one. And you're gonna make a purchase or you wanna find out more information, we do ask that you do so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps to support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, which we greatly appreciate. Thank you very much. All right, so let's talk about the front of the Bellroy Classic Backpack. I always start this section by talking about the primary external fabric, of which on this bag, there are 2. And of what they exactly are, we're not sure. Reason being is that on Bellroy's product pages, they don't specify what materials are used on what bag. They just have a link that brings you to a landing page that tells you about all their materials, which I don't like. I wish they wouldn't do that. But I've been around the game long enough to know this is probably some sort of nylon, water resistant, super durable and thick, but not too heavy. And then this material is definitely their beta ripstop nylon, which I am crazy about. Actually allowed me to go bag nerd for 12 seconds. I love this material, and I love how they put these 2 materials on top of each other. They play off of each other very subtly, but also in a way that's just like, damn, you got taste. You're a classy bag. The crinkle on this material, the ripstop design on this material, bag nerd rant over, but I love it. Next up, Bellroy's branding, super subtle. You got this leather tab right here. I think it's leather. I think it's actually fake leather now. But one cool thing about this branding is it actually works as an external lash point as well. So you can clip something on there, carabiner, water bottle, go crazy with it. Really though, the front of the bag is pretty minimalist, minus this front pocket right here. Once you get in there, you can see this front pocket like runs this entire area. So it's actually a big pocket with some decent volume to it. It's not super tight. And notice, even though you got this little gray fabric thing going on right there, it's not a pocket. There's actually 0 pockets in here. All we got is a key leash. So let's see what this front pocket can handle. I got some Sony headphones, keys, a notebook, and some AirPods. Now, like I said, there's no additional pockets within here, which is kind of annoying. So you just gotta kind of throw things, get them in there, and it works, it gets the job done. The keys use this pretty basic keyring solution. Clip it on, they'll just sort of hang down like that, zip it on up. Pros and cons of this pocket. Pro, spacious, can expand, and it's super easy to access, right? You're on the move, you wanna grab that notebook for whatever reason, you got something to note down, gotta jot some down, dude. It's easy to grab. I absolutely adore quick access pockets like this. It's a game changer in a backpack. But on the flip side with this pocket, we do have limited capacity, a little tight to get in there, and there's no additional organization, which I think another pocket or 2 would have been nice. But remember, the whole gist of this bag is simplicity, so it's definitely in line with the intent. That's it. Move on to the next section. Let's talk about the middle of the Bellroy Classic Backpack. Starting with the sides, what do we notice? Very slim silhouette, very sexified, very classy. Not very hydration friendly though. I'm talking about no water bottle holder. Because I know some of y'all out there, you got these 1 ounce Yeti water bottles and you expect it to fit on the outside of the bag. And not only will this bag not fit a 1 ounce Yeti, it won't fit anything because there are no water bottle holders, which I understand is a deal breaker for many of y'all. So pros and cons with that, no umbrella storage on the outside, no water bottle holder storage, no wet jacket storage, but it does look so fresh and so clean. Let me know in the comments below though, is no external water bottle holder a deal breaker for you? I wanna hear what you gotta say. Now moving up to the top, we got this pocket right here. This is the only pocket that is protected with a PU coated zipper. And it should be noted too that all these zippers are YKK, I believe. Bellroy's always YKK, absolutely. But this PU coating gives this pocket additional weather resistance. And when you open it up, and by the way, Bellroy uses these really nice fake leather tabs. They feel nice, they zip nice, they get the job done. And then when you're in, we've got sort of a quick access sunglasses pocket. The reason I say it's quick access is because it's right on the top, so it's easily accessible. And for sunglasses is because look at this material right here. This is like a microfiber anti-scratch material, which makes it ideal for the shades. Zip it on up, boom. It should be noted this pocket is not very deep, but it is deep enough for a phone. This is the iPhone 13, but with not a lot of room to spare, so something to keep in mind. Let's get inside. The main compartment is protected with this lip of fabric, right? A little flap, if you will. This flap helps to ensure weather resistance, right? It just kind of blocks any rain from getting into that zipper, seeping through. But it does cause a little extra friction sometimes when opening and closing the bag. And you can see, we're in. Bag nerd alert, you see this red color on the interior? I'm a big fan. I just love nice, luxurious, premium look and feel inside of a backpack. It's just like, it makes you feel like that $140 you spent was worth it. For the main compartment, we have a single mesh pocket on this side of the bag. And then on the other side, you got a pen holder, a little sleeve, and your tech compartment. So let's pack it up. I love me a zippered mesh pocket in this location, YKK zipper. Mesh is great because you can see through it and also has this Bellroy's got nice mesh. Nice little stretchability to it. I'm gonna throw some nicotine gum in there to keep me off the cigarettes and the vape, and some tissues, easily accessible, boom. You also got this little thing right here with Bellroy's adorable owl mascot and a very inspiring story, which I will not read to you, but I will show you that you can actually use this compartment to store a pen, maybe, sort of, kind of, if you want. All right, let's do the other side. I'm actually gonna take the pen off of this and put it where it's designated, which is this lovely pen holder right there. And this bag, it's just got that like, I'm here to thoughtfully get some work done kind of a vibe. You got this little office section. It's so freaking adorable. Let's see what it can fit. Bellroy advertises it as the perfect spot for documents or an iPad. That's it, iPad. But I don't have an iPad with me and they don't specify what size iPad it fits, so let's test it with the paper then. Now here I have a normal A5 size paper with some zipper swatches on them in a plastic folder. We're gonna try and fit this in there and you're gonna see that don't fit. No, it don't. So let's ixnay the folder and just put the A5 paper in there and you can see we've got a nice fit until it stops. This is the full capacity of this compartment. It does not fit a full A5 sheet of paper flush. You got it poking out the top. If you fold the paper, you know, obviously no problemo, good to go. But hopefully that gives you some indication of the size of this compartment. And if you're wondering to yourself, why does this guy have zipper swatches? I don't even know what swatches was. Now I do. Well, I actually don't know if you know this, but I got these zipper swatches because I love reviewing backpacks so much that I decided to not only review backpacks, but make my own. And I'm actually documenting the entire experience of building this backpack here on the Nomads Nation YouTube channel. So if you wanna see my journey of building a game-changing backpack and you wanna vote on some of the key features, be sure to check out the second link in the description below. That link will show you where we are in the building a backpack project, and it'll also tell you how you can get involved. I hope to see you in your inbox. Back to this guy. So go ahead and keep the zipper swatches in there. And now for the laptop section, which is advertised to fit up to a 16-inch MacBook Pro. So as you can see, my 13-inch fits with room to spare. Love the padding on this side. Love the microfiber material. Just, you know, you want your laptop to feel like it's king of the castle. And these materials and this padding certainly gives you that peace of mind. Got a bit of padding on the back side, but let's check the false bottom. Ooh, that's a nice false bottom. That's like right up to here, dude. False bottoms are great because if you drop the bag, the laptop stays here instead of doing that. Truth be told, I greatly prefer my laptop to be in its own compartment. But if you're cool with the laptop being in the main compartment, this is definitely one of the better setups that I've reviewed. Now, there's no other organization or pockets, but let's sort of pack out the middle space to see exactly what it can fit. And we're gonna test it with some bulky items. 34-ounce water bottle from Yeti, hoodie, umbrella, portable tote from Day Owl, and a book. All right, I don't know if it's gonna fit. Water bottle popped out on the side. Make sure it's nice and tight. Do not want that spilling on my MacBook Pro. So you can see the sweater and the 34-ounce water bottle fit quite nicely there. In fact, plenty of space also for my thick old book. The umbrella, let's throw that in there. The tote, and wow, you know what? I'm actually pretty impressed by this bag's capacity. You kind of see it from this angle. I mean, we just threw all that bullshit on the bottom. So let's try a few more things. Tech pouch, backup power bank, tripod, backup t-shirt. The tech pouch right there on the top, power bank, slip that on in, tripod, t-shirt. Not gonna lie, for 20 liters, this thing has some pretty impressive capacity. And that, damn, is one benefit of having a laptop compartment in the main compartment. Because sometimes when you have a separate laptop compartment, it takes like 4 or 5 liters of space in itself, and it just sort of compromises what can fit in the main compartment. Overall, very impressive capacity. But will the back of the bag impress me as much? Let's find out and talk about the back of the Bellroy Classic Backpack. First up, we got this top handle. Big fan. It's sort of like a hanging top handle. It's not like a big old beefy top handle, but for me this is perfect. It gets the job done. You got the fake leather on top just to add a little finesse. And it's not too long as to where when you're wearing the bag, it's not hitting against your neck. That's the worst. But now let's talk comfort. Comfort comes down to 2 things: shoulder straps and the back panel. And really you just want padding and ventilation, which is something that Bellroy has always not done an amazing job of, in my opinion. And the reason being is like Bellroy has their priorities. One reason that I love Bellroy is they know who they are. They're going for simplicity, they're going for sleekness, a little quirkiness. That's it. And that means less padding and sort of these sexier cut straps, but they're not going to be as comfortable as like really thick straps with really thick padding that don't come to quite as sexy of a cut. But having said that, I've worn a lot of Bellroy backpacks. It's not a noticeably uncomfortable backpack. But I will say I don't think it's quite to the same level of comfort that, you know, other brands are. Air, GoRuck, Evergoods, right? These guys, they make these beefy shoulder straps. This is a little bit different, but let me tell you, these look a lot nicer. Beautiful simplicity with these shoulder straps, no sternum strap, which for me, I get why they did it. I know what they're doing. I do like a sternum strap on a bag. I'm getting older, the back kind of hurts, the neck gets tweaked sometimes, right? So sternum straps can really help with that. And then for the comfort with the back panel, I like it. Bellroy upped their game since I last reviewed this pack, or the Plus pack. A lot more padding, really soft. And this cut right here helps to provide some much needed ventilation on those hot, sweaty summer days. And the material itself just feels really soft. A lot of times bag companies will put like a coarse mesh there, which is great if you're hiking, but you're not hiking with this bag. So if you don't need a hiking bag, they don't need to put hiking materials on it. I love that. And a couple other notes, we have metal hardware. Now, I used to speak very highly of metal hardware because it's awesome, it feels good, it's premium, it's metal. Who doesn't like metal, dude? But as I've been reviewing more bags and reading more comments, I have understood that these metal buckles don't quite hold the bag in place as well as their plastic counterparts. Not always, but I have read complaints on the web that these will start to slide a little bit over time. I have not experienced it personally, but it's something to be aware of. And then right here, you can see we got this little plastic guy, little dangle stopper, keeping the excess nylon webbing in its place. And speaking of the excess nylon webbing, all right, 7-second bag nerd rant. I love this. Look at this nylon webbing. It's colorful, it's cheerful, it's jubilant. It's just Bellroy. They do these little things, these little touches, and they just go a long way. All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Bellroy Classic Backpack. Overall pro number 1, it's always with Bellroy, you gotta love the aesthetic. Overall pro number 2, pretty impressive packing capacity. And overall pro number 3, I'm actually really impressed with the protection and just design of the tech compartment. But it's not all unicorns and rainbows here. Let's talk about some of the cons of the Bellroy Classic Backpack. Con number 1 is these are not the most padded and therefore comfortable shoulder straps. Con number 2 is sort of this limited access to get into this front pocket. And con number 3, for some of y'all out there, the lack of external water bottle holders is going to just ruin your day. But if you're still here, there's probably a good chance that you're thinking to yourself, Aaron, I am taken aback not only by this review, but by this backpack. And speaking of buy this backpack, I might want to buy this backpack. Well, just a reminder that if you do so, we ask that you use the first link in the description below. We appreciate the support, thank you. But you also might not quite be sold, and you want some alternative recommendations. Here they are. Alternative recommendation number 1 is gonna be the Boundary Supply Rennen backpack. Yet again, classic silhouette, some great color options, but this one's got a bit more ruggedness to it. It doubles up as a great urban and outdoor pack, and it's got that water bottle holder To learn more about the Boundary Supply Rennen backpack, take a look at the description below and you'll find a link to our full review. Alternative recommendation number 2 is the Carhartt backpack. This is for you if you're looking for colors. You're looking for pretty good quality, but your budget is, you're like $140, $140 for a backpack? No, we're gonna bring it down to here. That's what the Carhartt does very well. This brand is blowing up. They make very high quality products. And to see why they're blowing up, you're gonna wanna watch our Carhartt review, which you can do so down there. And alternative recommendation number 3 is going to be the Alpaca Metro Pack. Metro Pack, yes, Metro Backpack. Final answer. This is for you if you want that classic backpack silhouette, but you want a bit more organization in the main compartment and a bit more organization in the front access compartment. It's definitely a bit smaller, but it's bringing a lot of awesomeness to the table. And to learn why, simply watch this video right here. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I personally respond to every single one myself. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.